27 fiancé's 29M mother gave me abortion pills as an early Christmas present. How on earth do I navigate this situation? I can't even begin to process what happened. I typed the title and just sat there, staring blankly at my phone, as if the words themselves might suddenly make sense. But nothing makes sense right now. How could this have happened? Why did it happen? It was supposed to be an early holiday gathering at his parents' house. A simple affair, nothing extravagant. There were a lot of people there, and not everyone knew about the pregnancy yet, except for his brother, mother, and father. Everyone else was still in the dark, probably assuming it was just another party where we were celebrating life in the usual ways. But as the night was winding down, right before we were getting ready to leave, she handed me a small gift box. My first instinct was to think it was some kind of jewelry, maybe a nice bracelet or a necklace. I was taken off guard when she told me to tell her or my fiancé what I think of it. The evening had already been a whirlwind, a blur of conversations and food, laughter and greetings. It wasn't even the type of gathering where you exchanged gifts openly. It was supposed to be a casual celebration. Everyone probably thought her giving me a gift was her way of welcoming me into the family, especially with the engagement so close. The entire thing felt rushed, almost forced. We had been busy all day, and I was honestly exhausted. I didn't even open the gift until we got home, when I finally had the quiet moment to myself. That's when everything changed. I opened the box, and inside I found pills. 2 types, mifepristone and misoprostol. My stomach twisted as I realized what they were. Abortion pills. I couldn't believe it. This was supposed to be a gift. This was supposed to be a gesture of kindness, or at least civility, considering what I thought was her subtle way of acknowledging our upcoming engagement. I understand that she may not have been thrilled about the pregnancy, that she may not approve of me. We're not exactly the same in every way. I come from a very different background than her son does, and perhaps that's part of it. He graduated from a prestigious university. He's been financially privileged his whole life, whereas I've had to work hard for everything I have. I know this. I don't need her to remind me of the differences between us. But that doesn't explain why she would go so far as to try and end the life of a child she knows we're both excited about, especially when the rest of the family has been supportive. I was crushed, devastated even. I don't understand why she hates me so much when I've done nothing but be respectful. I had hoped, at the very least, that we could coexist peacefully, especially given how much I've always tried to stay out of the way. But now, I just feel like a complete outsider in a place I thought I belonged. I don't know what I did to deserve this kind of treatment. I told my fiancé right away. I showed him the pills, told him what had happened, and the way he looked at me, his face full of concern, made me feel worse. He comforted me, told me that his mother's actions and words don't reflect my worth. But all I could think about was why he hadn't done something already. It's been almost 24 hours, and he hasn't said anything to her. I'm left here in this strange limbo of waiting for him to find the right moment to confront her. I don't understand why he's letting it slide, letting it sit in this uncomfortable silence between us. The thing is, we've been thrilled about this pregnancy. It wasn't exactly planned, but we both agreed that if it happened, we would embrace it. We'd been talking about this for over a year, and I thought that even though our families may not be fully aligned with our plans, they would at least respect our choices. But now, I feel like everything we've discussed is being undermined, and it's not just from someone who doesn't know us. It's coming from someone who is supposed to be part of my family, someone who is supposed to support us. So here I am, sitting with these pills in my hands, trying to make sense of it all. I just can't fathom why she would go this far, and I feel betrayed, not just by her, but by the fact that my fiancé hasn't done anything yet. I know he loves me, and I know he wants to protect me, but I just need him to step up right now, to take action, to stand by me. It's almost as if I'm alone in this, even though I'm supposed to be in this relationship with him.
And it's only been a day, but every minute feels like a year.
To anyone wondering how she could have gotten abortion pills without being pregnant herself, they're easy to acquire online. You don't need to go to a clinic anymore. You can have them delivered discreetly. Anyone can buy them. and I don't care how she obtained them. What matters is what she did with them and why. At a holiday gathering at my fiancé's parents' house, his mom gave me a small gift box. I thought it was jewelry, but when I opened it at home, it was abortion pills, mifepristone and misoprostol. She knows we're expecting and happy about it, but clearly doesn't approve. I have no idea why she dislikes me enough to do something this vile. I told my fiancé, and while he comforted me and said he'll talk to her, I'm upset he hasn't confronted her yet. Update 1. To begin with, I haven't reached out to any friends or family about this yet. I know this situation better than anyone else, and I've been trying, in my own way, to look at it from everyone's perspective, but it's hard. So I'm writing this to hopefully give a bit more clarity on where I'm coming from. Let me give some background so things make a bit more sense. My partner, who honestly, I don't even know how to refer to him as anymore, comes from a wealthy background, like generational wealth. His family has always had more than enough, always been well taken care of. Meanwhile, I come from a middle-class family, and even that's been a struggle at times. I remember nights when the electricity was cut off, and my dad would do anything, literally anything, to make sure we had food. He'd walk for miles to get bread, fruits, vegetables. I remember the smell of the bakery and the sounds of his shoes hitting the pavement. I was a child, but I can still feel the weight of it in my chest, even now. I'm typing through tears, so bear with me, please. Don't mind any misspellings or mistakes. I just need to get this out. It's hard. Meanwhile, my partner has never experienced that kind of hardship. He grew up with everything on a silver platter. He had everything handed to him, traveled the world, never had to worry about anything. I didn't even leave my country until I was much older, and the first time I did, I stayed in hostels. And he didn't even know what a hostel was when I first told him about it. He asked, "Is it like when you go with the school?" And I had to explain that no, it's for people who can't afford luxury hotels, but still want to see the world. I've met incredible people in hostels, had late-night conversations that shifted my entire outlook on life. I even thought at one point that I met my soulmate in one of those hostels. I dreamt about him again last night, and I woke up before I got the chance to even speak to him. It's like he's a ghost in my mind that I can't quite reach. But I digress. My partner has this life where every door is opened for him. Every door. He's the product of generations who've gone to Ivy League schools, traveled the globe, lived a life I can't even fathom. And yeah, fuck him. You get the picture. I can't tell you exactly why I did what I did, but I do know it was manipulative. I'm aware it was probably a bad decision, maybe even illegal, but I felt like I was at the end of my rope. I needed him to open up to me, so I tried something. I told him I saw a cool hack on TikTok for freezing water in a tilted glass to make a whiskey glass that doesn't need ice. I mean, whatever. The whole thing was a lie. My goal wasn't the stupid glass trick, it was to get him to talk to me. And guess what? It worked. He didn't talk to his mother about it, and honestly, I didn't expect him to. But fuck her. This is about us. I asked him if it worked, if the glass was good, and he said yes. Then I casually mentioned, "I wish I could try it, but you know I can't drink alcohol right now," and he just laughed it off. But I just knew there was something more to it. So I jokingly added, "Well, maybe I should just use your mom's gift." He smirked and looked away. That was when I felt it. There was something going on. His mother has always been complicated. I don't even know where to start with her. She kicked him out when he was 11 years old, called the police saying he'd run away, and even threatened suicide on more than one occasion. She's been diagnosed with a personality disorder, and honestly, I can't even deal with her. But that's not what this update is about. I told my partner how uncertain I was about having a child, but he said he would support whatever decision I made. So much for being a happy father-to-be, right? I'm leaving the country in less than 2 weeks. I've made my decision. I'm having a medical abortion. I can't stay in this family any longer. They've made it clear that they think I'm just here for the money, which is insane because I'm financially independent. Yes, I live with him, but I'm fully capable of taking care of myself. I've never wanted his money, and yet they can't seem to accept that. So I'm leaving. In less than 2 weeks, I'll be gone. The trip is for me to get away from all of this. I'm putting real jewelry in the gift box his mother gave me with the abortion pills. It's a symbol, I guess. I told him it was a break, a chance to get some space while he's in a vulnerable place, but I can't do this anymore. I can't be a part of this family. I'll be fine. I'll be just fine on my own. I want to say thank you again to everyone who's reached out. It's been overwhelming to read all your messages, but I can't respond to everything. I just want you to know how much I appreciate your support. You've all been so kind, and I can't thank you enough. Update 2. Honestly, I can't believe my fiancé hasn't completely lost it over this. If it were me, I would have erupted the second I found out. This gesture, it's beyond fucked up. I can't wrap my head around why it hasn't been addressed immediately, like right there and then.
How does someone just sit with something like that?
I'm starting to think maybe he needs more time to process this, though. I don't know. Maybe it's harder for him to fully grasp how wrong this is because, on some level, he's used to her manipulative behavior. But then again, how long does it take to realize your mother tried to sabotage your relationship and your future? It shouldn't take long. Has he talked to her at all? No, not that I know of. He hasn't said a word about it. Honestly, I don't even know if I can talk to him about it without breaking down. I want to bring it up, but I'm beyond humiliated. I don't want to be the one who's seen as hysterical. She's always so calm, so composed when she's around people. I can already picture it in my mind. She'll play the victim, spin the story to make it look like I'm the crazy one, like I'm overreacting. And he'll believe her. He always does. It's a horrible feeling, knowing that my pain and humiliation could be dismissed just because she knows how to control the narrative. I've been stuck in this space where I'm terrified to stand up for myself because I know it'll get twisted. But deep down, I can't believe he's just letting this slide. He knows her better than I do. Shouldn't he be the one to stand up for me, even if it means confronting her directly? He's her son, and this should be his responsibility to take charge, to protect the relationship we've built. The right moment to confront her? It seems like he's just waiting for the perfect time. That's the excuse I keep hearing. Wait for the right time, wait for the right words. But what I need right now isn't patience. It's action. And it's hard not to feel like I'm just some afterthought in this whole thing. Like I don't deserve immediate support because he's too busy tiptoeing around her. Honestly, I feel like I'm being gaslit. She's manipulative and I'm the one who's supposed to be understanding. It's absolutely disgusting. I'm starting to wonder if he even cares. If he doesn't speak up soon, does that mean he doesn't want the child either? Does that silence mean something deeper? I think I'd feel better if he just spoke up, if he showed me that I mattered more than his mother's opinion. But at this rate, I'm just spiraling. I keep thinking, why hasn't he done anything? I've seen so much manipulation in my life, but this is next level. It feels like she's playing a game and I'm the pawn. If I were in his shoes, if I loved him the way I say I do, I would have thrown the pills back at her immediately. I'd have been on the phone with her, demanding answers. I'd have stormed out and confronted the whole family. But he's done nothing. Not a damn thing. He hasn't even reacted. Not in the way someone who truly cares would. I'm starting to feel like I'm being made to feel crazy. It's so hard not to be angry when I realize how easily he lets this go. If it were me, I would have been ready to go to war for our relationship, for the baby. But no. I am sitting here waiting for him to make a move, and it's killing me. I just keep wondering, does he even care? Does he even want this child? Honestly, my fear now is starting to grow. This might sound crazy, but after what she did, I can't help but wonder, could she have put those pills in my food? It would have been so easy. I'm in my first trimester, and if something happened, it could be passed off as a miscarriage. I've been thinking about it nonstop. What if she did this to me on purpose, in a way that wouldn't be noticed? What if this is just the beginning of her twisted little plan to destroy everything? And what if he knows it too? What if he knows what she's capable of and is still doing nothing? I keep thinking, why didn't he throw the pills away? Why didn't he confront her about it? Make sure the rest of the family knew? It feels like he doesn't care. This silence is eating me up inside. I've never been more scared in my life. Not just for me, but for the baby we've both said we wanted. And yet, nothing. Not even an ounce of protection. Like I feel alone. So completely alone. Update 3. I just keep asking myself why. Why would she do something like this? Why would she give me something so cruel, so heartless, knowing full well that we are expecting a baby, knowing how much it means to us? She didn't even have the decency to hide her true feelings. No, she had to make it as public as possible. I would honestly take a picture of that abortion pill box and post it in the family chat if I could. It's like everything in me is screaming for some sort of justice, some way to make this known. I'd probably write something like, "Thanks so much, Grandma, for this thoughtful gift, but I won't be needing it. Maybe you can return it for a refund. I love how much effort you put into finding a present, but I really have to say this isn't my taste. And honestly, without medical supervision, this could really harm me. I don't care anymore about sparing her feelings. She doesn't deserve that. She has shown me zero respect, so why should I continue to give it to her? I don't owe her anything, not my silence, not my dignity. This is the woman who thought it was okay to give me pills meant to terminate my pregnancy when she knew how happy we were about this child. And this is the woman who has been manipulating my partner his whole life, making him feel like he owes her everything, even his own happiness. And to add to that, I don't think I'll ever feel safe around her again. I can't even think of the idea of eating or drinking anything she offers, knowing what she might try to do. I would never trust her hands again. Yes, that was my first thought as well. The moment I saw that pill box, I was consumed with fear. I couldn't even eat or drink anything at her place without immediately feeling sick. And like I mentioned before, I'm genuinely scared of both her and my partner right now. I feel like I'm surrounded by a wall of lies and manipulation, and I'm completely powerless. The only thing I have control over right now is the decision I can make about this pregnancy. It's still early enough in the first trimester, and the only silver lining in all of this is that I can handle it myself, in a way that doesn't involve her or anyone else trying to force their hand. I never wanted to be in this position. I never imagined having to choose between my life, my well-being, and this family's toxic drama. But here I am, facing an extremely difficult decision. I don't want to be a single mom, and as much as it hurts me, I feel like terminating this pregnancy is the only way out. If I have to face this family and all their issues alone, I'm not ready to bring a child into that environment. I'm not ready to be a single mother, and I don't want to deal with the stress, the judgment, and the manipulation. I didn't create this baby by myself, and it's not my responsibility alone to handle everything that's about to come. This was supposed to be a time of joy, not fear. But here I am, caught between my love for this child and the nightmare that's unfolding around me. If this situation isn't addressed, if he doesn't step up and take responsibility for both me and this pregnancy, I honestly think I'll miscarry from the stress. I feel like I'm on the edge, just barely holding it together. I used to drink to cope with everything, any and all of my issues. But now I can't. I'm not that person anymore. I need to think clearly and get my act together because, honestly, I'm running out of time. I need to talk to him, but not the way I already did, not crying or coming from an emotional place. No, I need to speak from a place of logic. He has to make a choice. He needs to decide whether he wants a life with me and this child or not. There can be no in-between, no, we'll see how it goes. If he's not committed to having a child with me, then I'll go it alone. And if that's the case, I'll have to do it without him. No co-parenting, no confusion. That was never the plan. I never wanted to raise a child in an environment full of doubt. And I'm not about to start now.
Update 4.
Yeah, he's a complete asshole. But in a strange way, it's probably better to realize this before you're forever tied to someone who clearly sees you as less than them. Still, it hurts. It's hard to accept, and it's even harder to know that this is the person I thought I was going to build my future with. It's painful, like a raw wound that just won't heal no matter how many times you try to ignore it. The thing is, the longer I stay, the deeper that wound gets, and I know I need to let go. But even knowing that, the finality of it makes everything so much worse. Yeah, it's honestly laughable when he thinks I'm the lesser one, when his entire family is objectively beneath me. They wouldn't even begin to understand the kind of struggles I've been through, the years of hardships, sacrifices, and relentless work it took to become the person I am today. I'm not some product of wealth or privilege. I don't have generations of connections to fall back on. Everything I have, everything I've accomplished, I've done it myself. They couldn't comprehend what it's like to worry about your next meal, to fear that your electricity might be cut off because you couldn't pay the bill. They think they know hardship because they don't get everything they want right away, but real struggle? They wouldn't last a day in my shoes. And it's not even the struggle that defines me, it's how I've grown from it. how I've used it to push me further, to fuel my ambitions, my drive. But still, it's not even the lack of understanding that bothers me the most. What really gets to me is the way they think they're entitled to judge me, to make me feel like I'm not enough. When I'm more than enough. I've built my life, piece by piece, and now they want to come in and dismantle it, to tear me down, just because they feel like they can. It's almost laughable. And I hate that it took me this long to see it. I don't see how what you did with the whiskey glass could be illegal. Sure, it was manipulative, but lying isn't against the law. Exactly, that's the thing. I wasn't going to hurt him, but I did need him to open up to me. And what happened to me in my teenage years made me realize how easily people can manipulate others with alcohol. How people can take advantage of your vulnerabilities, your limits, to get what they want. I know this because I've been through it. I was that girl pouring glass after glass, not knowing when to stop, not realizing the power it gave someone to push me to do things I didn't want to do. So, when I used alcohol in that way, to try and get him to speak honestly, it wasn't because I wanted to hurt him, it was because I needed him to open up. But I still feel guilty. I shouldn't have had to resort to that. I shouldn't have had to manipulate him to get him to talk to me. I hate that I even had to go that route, that it feels like I'm repeating something that was done to me just to get someone to listen. But the more I think about it, the more I realize this situation isn't the same. What was done to me was cruel, deliberate, and meant to break me. What I did was just a way to get him to speak the truth. It's hard to explain, but I didn't want to trap him. I just wanted him to see me for who I really am, for who I've always been. Strong, resilient, and not someone to be underestimated. And honestly, I don't know if he'll ever get it. At this point, I just need to step away. I need to separate myself from this situation and from all the toxicity that surrounds him. I need to focus on myself. But it's so hard to let go of someone you once thought you were going to spend your life with. I thought we had something real. I thought we could build a future together. But now, everything feels shattered, like nothing was ever as solid as I thought. It's like standing in the middle of a storm, just trying to hold on, knowing you're about to be swept away. But I will be okay. I have to be. I've fought through so much worse than this, and if it means losing him, then so be it. I'll get through this, no matter what. I've survived the hardest times, and I know I can make it through this one too. Update 5. Oh, so you're saying someone intentionally got you drunk in order to assault you? I'm really sorry that this happened. I just want to make sure I understand, because your words seem a little unclear. From what I gathered from your post, it seems like you gave your partner just one glass. Was there more? Because if it was just one glass and you didn't add anything to it, then there isn't really anything illegal going on. You didn't force him to drink it. It still sounds manipulative, but honestly, everyone is manipulative to some extent, whether we admit it or not. And in your case, when you're questioning your future and feeling unsafe, I can understand why you would do it. It seems like it was something you did to get him to open up, in the hopes that the alcohol would lower his defenses enough to have a real conversation. No, I didn't force him to do anything. I didn't drug him, not even close. It was just a regular glass of frozen water, literally nothing else in it. The bottle of whiskey was there too, but I didn't pour anything into his drink. The way I worded it might have sounded confusing, but I didn't do anything underhanded like that. He drank it because I suggested it, but it was his choice. I didn't slip anything in there, and that's important. I get why it might sound manipulative, and yeah, I'll admit it. I was trying to get him to open up. I needed him to be more honest, and I thought that maybe if he was a little more relaxed, he'd say things I needed to hear. But I didn't force him. It was about creating a space where he could talk, just like I would if I were the one in a vulnerable situation, hoping for clarity. But I want to make it clear, I didn't give him a drink with any intentions of making him lose control. That's not what happened. It was just me trying to get him to be open with me, and maybe in hindsight, it wasn't the best approach. Maybe it was wrong to try to manipulate the situation, but at the time, I didn't know what else to do. I was desperate for some honesty. It's hard because it's not like I didn't have good intentions, even though my methods were questionable. And I know it sounds terrible, but in this situation, I was willing to do whatever it took to get him to talk to me. I've spent so much time holding everything in and trying to be the strong one, trying to make things work. But I'm scared, and I don't know what the future holds. And I thought, maybe, just maybe, if I could break through his walls, we could figure it out. It's frustrating, though. It's frustrating to feel like you can't communicate with someone you're supposed to be building a life with. It makes me feel so alone, like I'm fighting all of this by myself. The way things have been, it's like I'm not even a priority to him anymore. That's why I did what I did. Because I just needed him to see me, to hear me, and for once, not brush it all aside. I didn't expect him to be perfect, but I didn't expect this. It feels like we're worlds apart, even though we're standing right next to each other.